Brunch culture.
We want to talk about faith. We want to talk about politics. We want to talk about race. We want to talk about pop culture. Literally,
everything
is up for discussion, and that's what brunch culture is about.
It's about a thing. Feel real good. Wave your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the air.
Brunch culture. Brunch culture. Brunch culture. Brunch culture.
She's Lisa V.
And he's Randall Keith.
And this is Brunch Culture, your weekly podcast where everything in the world, in the entire world, in our crazy country is up for discussion.
Yes, our orange president, 45, continues to do some unprecedented things.
Unprecedented is a nice word. I just, I have an F word that kind of... I feel like fits a little better, but we try to make it a family friendly show, so I'm not gonna put that word out there. But
he does make you want to use alternative words,
all kinds of alternative words, and
because he got some alternative facts.
It's just all. I mean, everything is just all real jacked up. I don't really. There's always something.
Yeah, the immigration ban was this today, where he said that he wanted to make it stricter for immigrants to come to the U.S. And that ban included only English speaking. They had to be able to speak English. It's a merit system, so basically they want the best and the brightest and people who are able to financially take care of themselves. They don't want anybody coming over that's a dependent, and they don't want family members to be able to bring like their grandmother over. It has to be like immediate family, like parents and children. So
because all of the immigrants that are coming into our country are just out here just looking for handouts, right? They're just
and they're nobody's taking all coming of our jobs.
Exactly. Nobody's here for the American dream. Nobody dreams of a life of being able to work hard and aspire to doing all these things. Like we have so many cases of immigrants, coming here with nothing and making something for themselves. But let's just overlook all those, because we're quite sure that the immigrants are just coming to America because they heard that the government will take care of them, and so they just want to sit around. And
they want to take black people jobs because they said that African Americans are disproportionately unemployed, and they believe that if they get stricter on immigration, African Americans will be able to find jobs, because that's the only reason.
Too. The immigrants are getting all the black jobs, and we all are only capable of doing the same type of work. Like, forget you and your degree, Lisa. Forget me and mine. The immigrants are just coming over and coming for us. It's so frustrating, because that type of thought is evidence of there really being these decisions aren't made based on actual research or data or things that can view everyone as a human being, right? Like you prioritize your citizens, like the American citizens, of course, they're already American citizens, but you're not considering that, hey, these people are coming and they have great things to do, even if they don't have a set skill that, with a degree, or they're educated, or they're, a chemical engineer. They have a lot of drive, hope, and tenacity. And we've always purported that is the thing that makes America special, is because you can bring, that passion and those aspirations, and you can turn it into something in our country. And we purport that, this administration will purport that, but then also say some very ignorant stuff like, oh yeah, well, you need to have an identifiable skill because we're not going to take care of you. Like, who said that folks was trying to come here to get taken care of? Like, where's the data that shows that that's happening? Get out of here.
The other alternative facts about white people being discriminated against because of affirmative action in colleges.
Just it's the most disgusting thing, and it honestly speaks to, you remember the girl from Texas, was like University of Texas or something like that, where the one girl, she filed a lawsuit because she said that because of affirmative action, she wasn't she wasn't given access, or she wasn't given admission to the school, but somebody that was less qualified and that was black was, and so she felt like she was being discriminated against. Mm-hmm. Like, for the life of me, I wanted to believe that she was the only person in the world that really thought that way. And, you know, like, Donald Trump is definitely doing things because he's trying to appeal to a certain group of people. And so the idea that, honestly, there's enough people that think that way, that this man says, you know what, let's start suing universities, and let's start policing universities to make sure that they're not discriminated against white people. Beyond the fact that the majority of their population is likely white folks. Let's forget about that, because there's other white people that should be here, and they're just not given the opportunity to do so. Like, what, sir, what are you doing?
Do you even know what affirmative action means?
Exactly. And do you even know why we have it? That's the thing.
And that white women benefit more than anyone.
Exactly. And that is the whole other thing. That was the thing that, I forget the girl's name. I remember she was really, really big for one time, but that's the whole thing about it. It's kind of like, you view affirmative action through this lens of what you heard. Like, you heard it only looks out for people of color, and not even people of color. It only looks out for black people, really. Like, that's what affirmative action is. That's what you know. And that's a tall tale that, like, your racist grandma told you. And you just go on believing that, oh, yeah, without realizing that you benefit the most. The reason that you're able to do all of these things is because of affirmative action. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
just sad that you have people that believe this kind of. It's like,
I don't know if they read. Do they read?
But because we got Google, and Google will actually, like, read stuff to you now, so you don't even have to read yourself. Like, you have a computer software that will read it to you, and you still refuse to get the knowledge. Like, what's really happening?
Yeah. Did you see Scaramucci was out?
Moochie was out. Like, Moochie was there for a smooth, 10 days? Like, he didn't even
Moochie was the most savage communications director I've ever seen.
Moochie was gone. Care. I mean, Moochie didn't even pass the, 90-day, was it the 90-day probation period? 60-day like, Moochie, he was gone in 10 days, bruh.
Yeah, he was gone about 20 days in. No, was 15 he made it?
I don't even. It was literally, he didn't pass. And I'm talking about, he ain't get no type of, you ain't get invested in nothing. You ain't get no type of, really, I don't even know if your office was fully ready, let alone anything else. Like, there's just always something with this administration. There's always something. And I tread lightly to say, yo, what? Like, are y'all tired? You know, at any point in time, you say, you know what, this is too much stuff. Like, I'm tired. I'm doing more of trying to, cover up things than anything else. I'm trying to, cover up stuff or change the narrative about my administration so that you can see me as something else other than just, a big hoax. Because nothing really substantial can happen, or I'm able to really focus on or promote. And I guess maybe that's not even the goal, but it's sad.
Yeah, I feel sorry for. Well, no, I don't feel sorry for him because Smooch, as they call him. Was it Smooch or Mooch?
Sarah, is it Sarah Moochie?
Scaramucci.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to figure out how they shorten it. But y'all know who I'm. Anthony. That's his first name. He was in so much pursuit of the White House and working with Donald Trump that he neglected his wife and didn't even see his child being born.
That's sad.
So his wife divorced him, and just even though his child doesn't know he wasn't there, it's just still really? And now you lost your job. All that for what?
Absolutely nothing. You loyal? I'm telling you, loyal to this man, and he ain't the least bit loyal to you. Don't even care.
Yeah, not at all. You saw R. Kelly tickets sales are down?
You know, I've really just been trying to ignore all things R. Kelly. I got in the car this past weekend. I was with my family, and what was the name of the song? It was a song with Jay-Z that he has.
Fiesta.
Fiesta. That's it. That came on the radio, and it just, for the longest time, I was kind of like, well, you know, you got to be able to separate somebody's art and talents from, you know, their personal life, which to whatever degree I still believe. You know, we can't hold everybody accountable for like being like disagreeing with their personal life, because it's kind of like, I mean, we really don't know. And like at some point in time, I feel like everybody does something that you disagree with. So you would have to literally just be like a recluse and not listen to anything or interact or engage with anything. But, you know, it was real hard for me to listen to it. And I was like, can we turn this? This is just like not making me. I think when I think about what's going on with R. Kelly and like thinking about like the possible deception and these girls being like 18 and 21 and realizing how young and impressionable they are, and realizing all of these girls, what they do have in common is they all had some sort of like aspiration of being in the entertainment business, and that's how they got connected to him. To me, that just kind of says like, bro, I can't really. Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm all the way good. Like, I can't be rocking with you. I can't be like streaming your music. That was the other thing too. It wasn't like it came on something I'd already bought. It was on Apple Music, and I was like, yeah, you know, I just, in this moment, this just don't make me feel too good. Like, I don't want to be around here bopping to your stuff, knowing that my little 2 cents that you get to play is adding to this house that you are likely holding women hostage in. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, and I think that's how we all feel. We just like, I can't support you.
Yeah, it's just, you feel awkward, right? It's like,
it's something not right about it.
And you know, like, Step in the Name of Love is a classic. Like, that is a classic. That is something that, I mean, at every family event, that song comes on. Or I remember I was on a cruise with my family last year, and that song came on, and everybody was just getting it. It was like, no, you know, this is it. Like, this song feels really good. And I love feel-good music, but I was just kind of like, bruh, I'm not in the best, like, this don't make me feel good with you right now. Because all of these things, you know, they don't all exist in a vacuum. There's been years on top of years on top of years of sketchy stuff happening, and sketchy stuff coming, you know, out of your camp. And it's just real uncomfortable at this point. Like, I'm all right, bro.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I feel you. You know, he ain't the only person doing sketchy stuff. Lil Duval, which to me, it's not even the same category, because there's nothing that Lil Duval has done that I've really been a fan of. I'm not really a fan of his comedy. He rarely says something funny, but his funny is just so vulgar half the time. I don't even appreciate it. But he was on the Breakfast Club, and he said that he would kill a trans person if they slept with him without telling him that they were trans.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's to be expected from him, because if you follow him on social media, he refers to his sister that's a lesbian as his gay sister. So it's kind of like he's all around inappropriate. Like, you could just scroll on his social media, like, it's just him as a person is inappropriate.
Right.
And it's just, that's who he is.
Right.
Like, I feel like it's different. Like, I feel like him and Charlamagne are cool. I feel like Charlamagne can be a jerk, but I don't see him as like, I think he's a jerk for the camera and he pushes back, but he's smart in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not trying to be offensive for laughs. And I think so the thing is, and I have like a very complicated relationship with Lil Duval, in the sense that, I mean, not like personally. Yeah, he's from our hometown, right? When he talks, when he speaks, I watched the whole Breakfast Club interview. So when I was watching it, his type of comedy, that vulgar comedy, that's the type of comedy that I like. And the way he delivers jokes reminds me of Jacksonville. It reminds me of, like, you know, my family, and just kind of how we sit around and clown each other and ride on each other and stuff like that. Like, that feels familiar. But I realized a long time ago that he definitely is one of those comics that, like, I gotta say stuff to push the envelope, and the fact that I'm pushing, like, I'm just kind of like I'm borderline offensive, or maybe I am offensive and it's intentional to you, that I'm doing that to make people laugh, because there are people with like a twisted type of joke, like humor or whatever, that will laugh at it. And I think for me, you know, stuff is not fun. To me, it's not funny when you are obviously trying to be funny. Like, if you're a person that, because a part of comedy is you point out things that are wrong with society, or, you know, issues in society, and you kind of make me think, but you also make me laugh about it. But if you're just kind of blatantly disrespectful just because, it's kind of like, well, it's not really that funny though, bruh. And I think that's to me, so that's the kind of the basis of my relationship. And I think I've said on our show too before, like, you know, Lil Duval, like, I'm good. Like, nothing against him personally, you know, he's the home team, like, oh, you cool, but it's all right. But that whole like Breakfast Club thing, I think it was just, so I have like multiple feelings with it. And I think people don't realize how, like, your thought, and you can disagree with something, and you don't have to like blame everybody that was there, because honestly, you know, the whole like boycott the Breakfast Club thing, I honestly think that's what their job and that's what their goal is. The reason that so many people like them, or, you know, they have such a huge platform, is because they bring people on this show that have, you know, differences of opinions and various views, and people can connect to it. You have somebody like a Umar Johnson that comes on, and, you know, there's a lot of people that completely oppose him, and there's a lot of people that are like super for him and think everything that he does and says is amazing. And they bring him on actually frequently for that clash. The same thing with somebody that's a lot more well received, but still, you know, rattle some feathers, likely with their like conservative listeners, is like an Angela Rye. Like, you know, they bring her on, like, she's been on a few times, and it's like, while a lot of us, we love her, you know, to people that may be a little bit more conservative, or maybe opposed to her approach to politics or whatever, because she is more young and, you know, is more hip, and she uses like slang terms like boy bye and stuff like that. People will disagree with that, but that's what makes the Breakfast Club. So to me, it's kind of like watching the entire interview. I don't think that, you know, do I think that they made it lighthearted and they didn't say, oh no, you can't do it, and they didn't like go in on him and tell him absolutely not, but they don't do that with anybody. So to me, it was like the issue, and the people taking issue with the Breakfast Club, it was like, all right, I feel like that's a bit much. But honestly, taking issue with Lil Duval and what he said, knowing that, you know, the trans people are murdered simply just because they're trans and somebody disagrees with them, especially in like southern states. You know, we see that oftentimes people are killed and murdered for no reasons, and honestly, nothing happens to these folks. Like, there was that one trans woman who ended up murdering her, like not murdering, but committing suicide, because she had been raped by an officer, had basically, you know, said like, hey, this officer raped me and beat me, and nothing happened to the officer at all. And she had to go around and live in like this turmoil, on top of the fact that you're already rejected from your family and the community. It's so many layers to it. That was kind of like, bro, that was extremely inappropriate. Like, and to kind of make a joke about it was, you know, BS. And then to also have his sister, because I went to his Instagram page and his sister was like, you know, he's always been in support of the LGBT community. And it's kind of like, nah, it seems more like he's in support of you because he's your sister, like you're his sister. Like, not that he is in support of the community, in which, not saying that he absolutely has to be, but it's kind of like, you got to understand.
Don't create something.
Yeah.
Don't create a affiliation.
Exactly.
Obviously, there was never one.
The alliance is more to you than it is to this community, which is okay and it's understandable. But it's kind of like to be like, no, he's always been a champion for the community. Like, he hasn't. Like, real talk, he's not. And if there's a way to express in a comedic way, you know, your discomfort, or how, you know, different it is for you as a 40-year-old man to be in a day and age where, you know, people in the LGBT community are at the forefront, or, you know, things are different. Like, there's a way to jokingly comment on that and also be like, but, you know, I respect you, do your thing, as opposed to being like, I couldn't deal with that, I kill myself, I kill him. Like, come on, bro. Like, and no, yes, nobody is saying, while you can stop and think that, hey, he's a comic, and because I've heard people say too, like, oh, you know, he was just joking, and it's like, you know, true. Do I believe that he's actually finna go out and kill somebody? No, but honestly, is it really effed up to say that, knowing that folks are actually dying for real? And this whole thing kind of comes from this idea of having a conversation about what happens and the repercussions of somebody finding out that a person is trans and what happens to them. And you see a lot of people are brutally beaten or killed. That was just the wrong thing to say. And, you know, he did try to backpedal and clean it up, but then his response on Twitter was just like completely contrary to what he said on the show. It's all just really, honestly, really stupid. And really stupid on his part, really stupid for him to try to be like, well, you know, I'm just saying what the F I'm gonna say, and, you know, it just is what it is, and then be like, oh no, but yeah, you know, my sister doesn't have to stand up for me, but you see, people try to paint you out to be somebody that you're not, and it's like, well, bro, they kind of painting it based off of what you said. Like, just be like, yo, you know, I stand by what I said, but that's not what my intentions were, and let's move on. Like, let it go. You gotta let that pride go, bro.
Yeah, and he seemed like he not. It's so unfortunate. Yeah. Well, y'all tell us what y'all think of our Mimosas and OJ. What do you think about 45? I have to call him. Randall convicted me when he was like, we got to call him our president. So our president, Donald J. Trump Sr., R. Kelly, Lil Duval. Let us know what you think. #ChatBC on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'd love to interact with you, and we'll be back for our main dish. All right, we're back with our main dish. Today we're going to be talking about the hit show Insecure. We've done a show on Insecure before, but I think this is a little bit deeper than the overarching themes. We're going to be talking about Tasha on the show. So there's this thing over the weekend, Team Tasha, because of her role in the show, and it seems like she's kind of getting taken advantage of by Lawrence in this situation. And so we want to talk about it. Randall is more of a fan of Tasha than I am.
I'm Team Tasha.
How did you get there? I thought you were Team Lawrence.
Well, so I'm Team Lawrence and I'm Team Tasha, but
so you team them as a couple.
Them as people. I think as a couple they're gonna be dope. I think it's gonna work out well.
It's the power couple now.
Lawrence just got to get over a couple things, and I feel like honestly he's taking the right steps, but you know.
Well, I'll say my comments. I'll let that go. I'm Team Issa. You know, I've been Team Issa since last year, so now we back in the new season. Still Team Issa.
Issa confused.
But we all entitled to our own opinions. You know, not our own facts all the time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this was circulating this week. BET had a video about it too. And there's some couple articles. Is Tasha considered a side chick? And I personally don't think she is, because there's no main chick there in this relationship right now. So I don't think that would qualify her. I don't think she was ever one. It just the situations and the dynamics changed.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. She's never. Anybody that would argue that she is, I feel like you're arguing it based off of just like not liking the character or not liking the situation, because there's nothing about her that says side chick. And I feel like for a lot of women, because they were introduced to Issa's character, they feel like they were annoyed at the fact that Lawrence needed to get a job, and you know, he lacked ambition.
The way you say that was so much like
because these
like
arguments,
it was realistic.
Yeah, like, no, seriously, like, these arguments don't hold weight. You have a lot of women that's like, he wasn't doing nothing, so she went out and did it. And it's like, honestly, so if, you know, a guy is taking care of a woman and he's the breadwinner and she's out shopping all the time and he go cheat on her, like, is he justified because she ain't had no job? Like, or she lacked ambition, or he said she lacked ambition? Like,
yeah, I think the cheating was wrong.
Yeah,
now,
like,
I think that's wrong.
Exactly.
I don't think that's
so.
justified.
The fact that he got cheated on, he can't have a side chick because he broke up with her. Like, there's no such, like, a side chick literally is like, there's a main chick and we're in a relationship and there's this woman that's on the side that I spend part of my time with or I do stuff with. Like,
somebody said she was a weekend chick.
But even in being quote unquote weekend chick, like, he's still single. that's the thing. Like, he's single, so, you know, he's the chick that he's with, and it happens to be on, it's like the weekend or whatever, but they're still, like, he's single. He's not committed to anybody. So honestly, it's like they're just having fun. They're having a good time, which to me, go ahead.
You know what was crazy for me? It seemed like she thought she got cheated on, and they never established that they were together. Like, when he went back to Issa, like, Tasha, she reacted as if she kind of was cheated on.
Well, so that's honestly. So here's something that I to be very transparent and honest, like, I didn't get. I honestly watched the episode and felt like they were kind of on the same page. Like, you know, they just kicking it. Like, they're not in a relationship. She knows that, understands it. They're having fun. You know, obviously there's a lot of sexual chemistry there. So, you know, they both enjoy the benefits of that. And yeah, they're not in a relationship. And even when she, like, went on to ask, when she said something about, like, them hanging out or being like, you know, you don't just have to, we don't have to hang out on the weekend, which I kind of missed that part. And one of my friends was like, sure, of course you did. Typical, like, guys, like, nothing that she said that alluded to the fact that, you know, she wanted something more, y'all catch. And I was like, no, honestly, I didn't realize she said that. I thought, you know, it was more of like his homeboy mentioning, like, hey, you know, we should do something, like, you should do something more than just, like, see her on the weekends. Like, that's where I thought that came from. I completely missed her saying that in the beginning. And then even her inviting him to, like, the family reunion or barbecue or cookout or whatever it was. To me, she also followed that up with, like, but if you can't, like, it's fine, or if it's too much, like, it's fine, which means that she's not necessarily trying to pressure him into a relationship, or she's not really expecting a relationship. She's just like, yo, I thought it would be cool that you can come. But then a friend of mine had explained to me that, no, that's like,
she was just protecting herself from, like, him rejecting her.
And I didn't get, honestly, to me, I got watching that she was just like, hey, you know, I kinda was gonna ask you if you wanted to come, but if you don't want to come, like, it's cool. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, no pressure. You know, we not there yet. We just kicking it. So,
and now we back to 443. We back there where you getting this information and completely missing the point.
It's based off what she said, though. Like, she never. And this is why I'm Team Tasha, right? So I'm Team Tasha because Tasha seems, and maybe this comes from me missing it, according to a friend, this comes from me missing it, but Tasha is just kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, I realize you're going through, like, a situation. I realize you just got out of a situation, and let's just hang out. I think you're a nice guy. Let's see where this thing can go and, like, figure it out. Like, I think she was hurt because more so, for me, I understood her being upset with him having sex with his exes because it's like, yo, we're having sex, and, like, I probably wouldn't be smashing you knowing that you, like, smashing somebody else, but not on some, like, you're my dude or we in a relationship, just on some, like, hey, like, if we smashing off every weekend, like, when you gonna smash her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I took it as that, not necessarily like there's this expectation of, oh, I'm really trying to make you my boyfriend. I don't get that from her. I didn't get that from her character at all. But I have my friend that's pointing out like, no, she said this, or no, she said that, or no, and I'm like, actually, I think she's giving him the space and the time that he needs to, like, you know, filter through stuff. And then I respect Lawrence, which was why I'm like, yo, I'm still team Lawrence, because he was honest with her. Like, he didn't have to tell her that. He could just been like, you know what? But that shows that this man is trying to be like, he's trying to be honest about
a stand-up guy. Yeah,
he's trying to say like, look, you know, I got to be honest because this is bothering me, because I realize that this is a problem. This might be a problem. Mm-hmm. Not because we're in a relationship, but just because, you know, I want to make sure that you know. And he told her. And, you know, they had their little thing and they got it together.
Do you think that he felt guilty because he felt like Issa had just cheated on him? So subconsciously, he didn't want anybody to feel like that?
Likely.
Even though he's not with her?
Yeah, likely.
Like, for real?
And I think, honestly, it comes from it comes from two, like, say what you will about Lawrence. Like, you can't say that the man is, like, conniving, maybe lazy to whatever degree, you know, maybe, like, lacked ambition. But that's a whole other thing about, for me, I feel like the man was going through, like, a bout of depression, post-graduation depression, and, like, just never necessarily got out of it. And honestly, Issa's going through the same type of thing because she's in a job that she kind of really hates, but she's there. She goes all the time. So essentially it's like y'all are going through the same thing. Y'all just experience it or express it differently. But yeah, I say that to say that I don't think Lawrence is a bad guy. And I think that his approach to telling her, being like, let me be honest with you, is kind of like, well, I want to be open. I want to be honest. And I want to make sure that, you know, there's no deception that's going on, or I'm not leading you to expect something that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? And like, to be honest, like, he probably, him changing and being like, hey, let's go on a date, or let's try to do something during the week after his homeboy mentioned it, was kind of like, yo, well, I ain't trying to be that guy. Like, I'm not trying to be a bad dude. I'm really just trying to, I didn't think about it in that way, but now that you make note of it, you make mention of it, it's like, oh yeah, like, I don't want to be that dude, because, you know, she has more to offer than just like us smashing on the weekends, all weekend. So like, yeah, let's do something else.
So, I mean, Tasha, I don't think she is a bad person, because some people are trying to make it seem like she was bad because she manipulated, took advantage of him, or was flirting with him when he was with Issa. But like you told me, she didn't know that he was with her. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, she didn't know. It wasn't like she was like, oh, this guy got a girlfriend and let me do this. Nah, she was like, she saw this guy. She meets this guy or knows this guy or whatever. I don't remember if they like already knew each other or they just interacted with each other.
From the bank.
Yeah, from the bank. So it's like, you know, this guy, she thought he was attractive. There was an attraction there. You know, they started flirting or talking or whatever. And it went from there. Like, she didn't walk into it knowing that like he had a girlfriend. And to me, she just seems like, and maybe this is like a misnomer of mine, but I don't know. She just seems like just a chill, down to earth girl that's just kind of like, yo, I'm not out here because I'm interacting with you. And I'm saying this as Tasha before, like, they had sex. Like, because I'm interacting with you, I'm not putting this like, oh, well, he better be trying to get at me, or he better be my man. It's just kind of like, nah, I mean, you're a cool dude. Like, let's get to know you. Like, it's fine.
Somebody said she was the most mature person on the show, and I think that's up for debate. I think they're all mature in different aspects.
What aspect is Issa mature in?
Oh, don't do that.
I mean, I'm just being.
I feel personally offended.
I mean, honestly, like, and maybe it's because we see more. The show is about Issa, so we see more of her stuff. But like, I mean, yeah, what is she mature in?
I was offended, but now I'm like trying to make sure I have a solid argument because I know you're gonna rebuttal me with something.
Because I don't think you have one. Like, what? Yeah, no.
I can't even defend. Hold on. This one I need somebody that I could phone a friend. You remember what was that? What was that show? Want to be a millionaire or something like that?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Can I phone a friend?
I don't. I mean, and again, I like Issa's character. She's
at work. She's
mature at work.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, maybe that would probably be the most mature she is, but that's still even like.
She does rap in the mirror, but everybody does their thing that's therapeutic. I mean, man.
And I'm saying it's not bagging on. I'm not like.
I really went in there strong. I really went in there strong.
I just don't. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I like Issa's character. I feel like she's extremely relatable. Even there's parts of her, although she's a woman, like there's parts of being a young professional and you're in a career and you have moments of like feeling like you don't have it all together, but you start to realize like nobody really have it all together. Like, to some degree, we're all still learning and working, especially when you're like in a career position. So things change and you feel like you got it, and then something happens and it's like, dang, I thought I had it, but I don't really. So that's relatable and that's universal. So I like the character. I just think when we start talking about, like, if you talk about like
she's maturing her friendship with Molly.
She is. Didn't they have like a falling out last time? And
yeah, but we all fall out. We all, we fall down and get up in friendships.
I mean, I'll give you that.
She apologized at the end.
You're right. I'll
think
give
she
you.
Takes responsibility. No, not in all aspects.
Right. I feel like Issa's character is true to form in terms of us. Like, in people in general, especially, us young professionals, we sometimes tend to see things through one lens and we don't see it through the other lens until like something bad happens and we're like almost forced to do it. So one of my friends actually pointed out that Issa's character she basically took kind of like things that we often would see in like art or in life. We see like traits of like things that guys do. Like we kind of make decisions, thinking mainly about ourselves and then realizing that not considering the other person actually provides a result that we don't necessarily want, i.e. cheating. And it's like, in this moment I want this, but I don't because I'm so disappointed or annoyed with the home situation or the home front, without realizing that like, honestly, there are great things about this home front and this home situation that I really appreciate, enjoy, and it like gives something to me. And not doing that, I end up hurting myself worse. So like, her character has that, and that's like it's a good thing, and it's good that we can see that. And actually, it's one of the things that makes the character attractive. But I just kind of feel like when we start talking about like maturity, I could definitely agree that Tasha, I'll compare her to Issa's character. I'll compare Issa and Tasha. I would say of the two, she's likely more mature. I would consider her more mature, just in that, as opposed to being extremely upset, coming out of a bag and just being so mad at Lawrence, she stops and thinks, well, we're not in a relationship. There's no, like, he didn't necessarily cheat on me. I also know that he's going through like a breakup, or I'm maybe somewhat aware that he has an ex-girlfriend, so he likely is going through some situation with that. And it's kind of like, he's not a bad guy, he's not a horrible guy, and we don't really we're not in a relationship. So like, let me, as opposed to just kind of going off on him and being like, oh, I'm through with you, I can't deal with you. It's kind of like, look, like, let's just start over. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with how her character responds to Lawrence. Like, is she gonna start putting expectations on him to be more boyfriend-esque without actually having a conversation about that being her expectation? Or is her saying like, come in for, I mean, are you hungry? And like, I made some extra food or whatever. Was that her way of saying like, you know what, let's just start over and let's kind of refocus this thing? Like, you know, no, we not finna be having sex all the time because I realize that's probably gonna mess me up. But you know, I'm still cool with getting to know you and like kicking it with you. Like, I like you in that way. And so, yeah, I think she's, to me, at this point in time in the series, I think she's definitely more mature than Issa.
I'm trying not to agree with you. I really am, just for personal reasons.
Yeah.
But, you know, that...
right is right. Right is right and wrong is wrong, you know?
I do think she's setting herself up because I think he hasn't detached himself from Issa, and I wonder if him and Molly's conversation went like she said, because I just find it really interesting that they cut it off. Yeah, like they didn't give us. So I'm like really wondering. I hope it's like no deception from Molly, because I can't take another Molly Issa fight. I just see them doing so much better than they were.
Because Issa ain't gonna handle it right. That's why you can't take it. She did
apologize the last time. Now, before, the way she apologized, I had an issue with how she apologized in the first show to Molly, because she was just like, "You still mad?" and then just walked in the door. Like, we didn't have this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt like that led to the big thing at the end. You know what? I'm just helping your point.
Mm-hmm. I'm letting
at
you
the
get
end,
it out.
She got it.
Okay.
And she apologized. Sometimes we don't get it. At first, you don't succeed. Aaliyah told us, first you don't succeed, you just gotta dust yourself off and try again.
All right, well,
that Aaliyah philosophy will help you. You know,
a lot of dusting to do. I'm talking about she need a Hoover, a vacuum cleaner.
I thought you was Team Issa and Team Lawrence at the same time.
No, I've always been Team Lawrence, just because I think that I'm Team Lawrence because I feel like a lot of people are trying to like make him a buster, and the dude is not a buster. Like, truth doesn't matter, he's not a buster. Like, for real, you can't. I mean,
he done upgraded his apartment and everything. Yeah, he done left her in the hood. He done went.
I'm telling you,
got him
my boy out in Malibu. Like, y'all playing. Like, yeah, in Malibu for real. Like, honestly, Lawrence was a buster in that he didn't have a job, right? But that's it. Like, honestly, you can't equate his career or professional life mishaps to him being this dude that's just out to, you know, cause harm to her, or he's just this no good dude. It's like, nah, that's not who he was. Like
he didn't lie and deceive her.
Yeah, and it's like
he did lie and deceive her. Exactly. She did lie and deceive him.
Exactly. And so it's like, let's
technically she didn't lie. She deceived him.
But it's let's make sure that our frustrations or our anger is being distributed in the right place. Like, honestly, if you want to hold him accountable for being messed up, then you also got to hold Issa accountable. And you have to look at Tasha as a character that is not, you know, just this thought that's out here trying to just get this girl's man. Or
yeah, I don't think she's bad.
Yeah, or she just but I think she's hard up for a dude.
Heartbroken.
You know, I don't know. And again, this might be just kind of like the overlook of my lack of understanding.
I just think we know how shows go. They're gonna get back together. It's just like Power. Ain't Tasha and Ghost back together?
Contractually, like that's not.
I haven't watched any of the new seasons, so I don't know. But I just, from what I've seen on social media, you know, T.I. and Tiny, they kind of together
contractually.
They did just side note. They just give each other shout outs for their 7th wedding anniversary. I was like, I never saw people celebrate an anniversary amid divorce, but I don't know. That's different.
Contractually, Honestly, I think that becomes my frustration. Not frustration, but that's like why I disagree with people. And even when, especially when it comes to like Tasha, because I feel like we see her character more, and I never saw her as just like this girl that was thirsty and that was just waiting for a dude. Like, I didn't get that. Like, she showed interest in the dude. Dude was like, look, I got a girlfriend, like, you know, and she's like, oh, okay, all right, my bad. Like, you know, thanks for being honest. Like, you know, we good. And then you don't see her character again until him and her smash. And like, maybe she was like weak and she really liked him or whatever. I don't know. Like, maybe she did want to smash him, but I'm sure at that time was like, yo, it's over. Like, we're done. And she cheated on me. And so it probably was just like a vulnerable moment for both of them. But I feel like it's really messed up to just kind of trash her character and be like, you know, she a hoe and she a thot and she just ain't. It's like, nah, like, she honestly is just like down to earth, and to me it's kind of attractive that, you know, she's just.
Randall want him a Tasha.
Look, man,
y'all Tasha's out here.
Look, I just feel like Tasha is like, she's just down. Like, she just seemed real cool, and she just like, hey,
you don't want no Issa.
Issa confused. And Issa out here getting it in like recording studios, like on this nasty couch that 3,000 other people probably done smashed on, and you just out here like, you know, just getting it in. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's just I feel like Issa's character is more complex than that.
Well, we know more, and in all fairness, we know more about Issa's character, and so, you know, all of this comes from. Is the design of the show. She's the protagonist. She's the main character. So we know that we're gonna know more about Issa's character. Like, that's we're gonna have more stuff to pick apart. But I feel like with what we know thus far, honestly, Tasha, like, we can't trash her character. And I actually one of the like pieces, because of course with anything, especially with Insecure, and the reason I like the show because it causes a lot of dialogue and discussion, and you start realizing that people that you thought were like, oh, you know, we think the same about a lot of stuff. They start saying stuff and you be like, wait, I don't feel that way. Like, y'all crazy. And I feel like it exposes a lot of the differences between how men and women approach relationships and situations and even see stuff. It's kind of like, no, I think this means that. Nah, this mean a whole. I feel like women, y'all have like this whole like subliminal thing that's going on. But anyway, like, it's with Tasha's character though.
Giving shade, okay.
No, because it's a lot of stuff that has happened on this, just in these 2 episodes, and I swear I take it one way and I'm like, no, this means this, and then I'll tell it to a woman and she'll be like, no, it mean this, and you can tell because this happened and then that happened. And then in season 1, when she was sitting there and they had lunch together, she done offer him lunch and she had on that low-rise shirt with her breasts hanging out. And it's like, dang, like, I didn't, like, how did you connect that to this? Like, what was, I mean, I saw it and I thought like, oh, that's cool. But I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is an innuendo because she gonna come back and try to, like, what? Nobody, who was thinking like that? Nobody thought about that. Like, what the heck? But anyway, so there's this article though that they pointed out. They kind of talked about how like more bougie or educated women will pick a character like Tasha apart. And that was one of the things that I actually do like because, you know, we don't know that she's educated or not. We just know she works at the bank, right? So we don't know if she has like a degree and she works at the bank, or if she's just somebody that just has a high school diploma and just works at the bank. She doesn't seem to have, and not saying that like working at the bank is not a career, not saying that, but she doesn't seem to be like in like higher level corporate America or anything like that. So the article was basically saying like she kind of is the definition of a more bougie woman's definition of what it means to be basic. And
so you saying us educated women judging her?
Yeah, like judging her because y'all feel like she's.
I love how you saying it with like no.
Yeah, no, because and that's true. Like, y'all, I feel like honestly, that's why a lot of the hate of Tasha comes, because it's kind of like, you know, my friend, she pointed this out too. Remember how on the last episode when Molly was at the therapist, and the therapist was like, you seem to think that because you've worked really hard and all this stuff has happened, like you've done all this stuff in your life, that it's supposed to go a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is kind of, it was interesting that they brought that up and that line was in this episode, because I feel like that is one of the reasons that there's so much like annoyance with somebody like Tasha or what she represents, right? You have so many women that are in their 30s that are single or feel like they've had like really bad relationships, or they've been cheated on or broken up or whatever, but they feel like in every other aspect of my life I have it together. I work really hard. I got I have I'm degreed, I'm excelling my career and all this other stuff. Like I should be in a relationship, and you have somebody like a Tasha that doesn't have that type of stuff, and she just like is a bank girl, but she kind of getting attention from this dude. Like, and I know that's not like everybody, but that's just kind of how it comes across. Like it comes across like that. And when they mentioned that in the article, I started thinking, I was like, see, this is probably where the Tasha hate come from. Because I feel like if you just look at Tasha, if you just looked at her character, honestly, away from Lawrence and Issa, you just got to know that she dope. Like she just seems just like a real chill, round away girl. Like I'm team Tasha, man.
I think we need to revisit this conversation on that point, and also bring somebody else in. Maybe we should bring your female best friend on too. We'll talk about it with her.
I'll ask her. I don't really know.
I feel like she would be on my side on this conversation.
So, she kind of gives me a lot of like really unfiltered responses. So I don't know if our audience is ready for it.
I'm just joking about. That's the only person that I thought of that I know that you would.
I get like a lot of. See, that's a real dumb way of thinking. You sound like a dumb man. Y'all problem is y'all don't use y'all brain. You're always thinking with one head that you got. It's just all this kind of stuff that's like. I don't know if it's. I
really just went because I feel like it would be 2 against 1, and I feel like when you need to phone a friend, I could just phone her, and she would already be here, and then we can have this discussion as
the thing that sucks too.
Women, and we talk about this.
The thing that sucks the most too is that she knows a lot of like personal stuff about me too, so I really feel like this is gonna be like a whole, because she'll be like, oh, so you never did X, Y, and Z, and I'll be like, you know what, just shut up, shut up. Like, just get off, like, no, let's not talk about this no more. Well, y'all hit us up and let us know what y'all think about Tasha. Are you team Tasha? Do you think that Tasha is doing anything wrong? Is she trying to like sneak Lawrence into a relationship, or is she just like a chill girl that's really understanding that it's kind of like, yo, I like this dude, but I also understand like I ain't trying to put pressure on him, and like it's gonna be what it's gonna be, which to me that's what it seems like she's doing, and I think that's admirable. Hit us up, use the hashtag #ChatVC, and y'all can find us on Twitter at Brunch Culture and on Instagram at Brunch_Culture, and we will be back for our Toast or Roast. All right, and we are back with our Toast or Roast. So this week I actually had a roast. I came into this thing with a roast that I was gonna do, but I think I'm gonna save my roast for next week, because I have a toast. Today I actually saw the Procter & Gamble commercial that's about the talk, and if you haven't seen the commercial, it's like on social media. It was like one of the first things that popped up on Instagram when I got on. I saw somebody like post a clip of it, and a couple other people post like screenshots. But the entire commercial is it surrounds the talk that Black parents have to have with their kids in multiple areas. So it's about knowing that you are beautiful or pretty. A mom is telling her daughter that she's pretty, not just because she's a Black girl, but just because she is pretty. It surrounds people using the N-word to a kid. A girl like learning to drive, and her mom is telling her, here's what you need to do when you get pulled over. And it goes through, it's like different time periods. So it looks like it's like starts off in like the 40s and it goes all the way up to more recent years. And there's been a lot of like backlash. Apparently people on Twitter were just saying like it's a racist commercial and it's so stupid. And, Procter & Gamble needs to be boycotted because they're race baiting and all of this crazy, absolutely asinine stuff. And I just wanted to toast to Procter & Gamble for doing it. Like, this is a huge company that has a huge platform, and for them to actually make a commercial that shows everyone that the talk is not something that just started happening. It's actually something that parents have been having with their children for generations on end. And it's saying like, hey, let's talk about having to have the talk so that maybe one day we don't have to have this talk. Honestly, I'm all for, as you guys know, we're here, we at Brunch Culture believe in things that are going to boost conversations, but I'm definitely for that. Like, having tough conversations, having conversations with people that realize that, you're not going to understand my experience. I'm not going to understand your experience, but we should be able to come together, likely over something like brunch, and be able to talk about those things. And that's what, to me, brunch is about. Sometimes, you're a little inebriated, so you can't really have those conversations. But the goal is really to be able to have those types of conversations in group settings so that you can get multiple thoughts and opinions. And I just feel like that commercial aligns with what we're doing here. It takes something that is very near and dear to our heart, something that we're all likely very familiar with, and it puts it on a public platform, and it makes other people realize that, like it or not, this actually happens, and it has been happening for generation after generation after generation. And we don't have to have the talk about just police. We have to have it about interactions with other people. We have to have it about school interactions, work interactions with, friends, with representation. It was so powerful. The opening scene is like this young black girl that's sitting in front of a mirror with her mom. She has like a white doll, and she says like, you find out that a woman has told her or complimented her what she thinks is a compliment, and a woman told her she's beautiful for a black girl, pretty for a black girl. And that type of thing that's so simple and that's so small, and people would normally think that it's something that we have to go through, but you realize, you start thinking back, even myself as a guy, like I start thinking back to hearing people say that, or even believing that myself, like, oh, she's pretty for a dark-skinned girl, or, and it's these types of talks that we have to have that, people in other communities, particularly in the white community, don't have to have those types of conversations. They just kind of get to go out and be free of that kind of stuff. So my toast this week is to Procter & Gamble. Thank you. Toast to y'all for making this commercial. I actually hope that, this isn't the last that we see that's promoting images of black people and promoting issues and things that we have to face, and we see it on a larger scale, and it actually starts to get people to think about these things. So toast to Procter & Gamble.
Dope. Toast to them. Today I want to toast to Queen Maxine. Miss, I'm reclaiming my time. If you have been on social media, you've seen it. They did a gospel remix. The dude did great with the song. But she said, hey, listen, I don't want to hear how good I am. Don't. I want you to tell me why you didn't respond to that letter.
On May 23rd.
Yes. Tell me why. And then he started talking about all the people he had responded to. You didn't respond to this letter. Tell me why. He's talking about, well, I'm getting to that. And the man kept saying, the floor belongs to the gentle lady. And that thing blessed me so. Because he kept saying, he thought every time Steve Mnuchin, was that Steve Mnuchin? I think it was. Every time he looked, he thought he was going to get some like validation. And the man said, it belongs to the gentle lady. And it's like, well, apparently I don't understand the rules. Yeah, you don't. Maxine said, she said, listen, explain these rules to him and don't take that away from my time.
Don't take it away from, right. Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
So that's people's thing. That's everybody's thing for 2017. Everybody's saying it on social media. I love the meme that says, what are we? And the dude says, we just chilling. And the girl says, I'm reclaiming my time. Whew. Because Lord knows we got to deal with that as women. But that's a whole nother subject. We got to reclaim our time, ladies and gentlemen. Our friend Mike, he reclaimed his time when he stopped being a Jaguar fan. That was hilarious.
Oh, that's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. I'm so sorry. Did you see? I just read the other day that like the Jaguars Twitter team like told everybody to post a meme about how excited they were for the upcoming season, or it was like a GIF, and so people start posting GIFs of like them jumping out of a window, jumping into burning fire. Like,
oh man, I didn't see that. I gotta go look that up. I'm
gonna send you the article. It's so sad. I was like,
I don't like the Jaguars. They've sucked.
But you gotta. They're the home team, Lisa. Like you gotta.
And sometimes you gotta let home go. You can't.
Oh my gosh, you guys can't be loyal fans. Why?
But if they win the Super Bowl, I'll be right up there. Go Jaguars!
My home team. I've always been. See, y'all ain't nothing. Y'all really trash. This is the problem with you millennials. You ain't loyal. No loyalty. Terrible.
Well, we want to leave y'all with a good vibe. Today's good vibe says, may your focus on being be greater than your focus on becoming.
I love it. So I actually heard this. This comes from a friend of mine, and that she posted a video on Instagram, and she said she made that statement, and it really, really, really stuck out to me. And I just thought it's so important because we have a tendency to always be focusing on the next step and what's next and what we're going to do here, and saying stuff like, when I get there and when I get to this place, or, you know, I can't wait to get to this next level. And, you know, when I achieve this goal, I'm going to be this. And you kind of miss just being like you miss just being the person that you are, appreciating the things that you have, appreciating your quirks, appreciating the things that God is like giving you in this space, and just enjoying that, like doing that and being focused on being will actually get you to where you need to be, as opposed to always just focusing on it. That actually comes from Simone Park. Her Instagram is _Simone, SIMONE PARKE, and it's in a video that she posted on. It was a day ago. It was yesterday, so it was the first. Yeah, the first. But it was actually really good. She said it, and like, go and listen to it. You guys go and follow her. She's actually a natural hairstylist too. Shout out to Simone. But I just saw that, and that honestly just really resonated with me. So yeah, it's dope.
Dope. Well, if you want to hear past episodes of Brunch Culture, you can always go to brunchculturebc.com. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribed on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Leave us a review. It really helps us. It keeps us encouraged. I saw some new reviews on there, so I appreciate y'all doing that. Share it on your social media. #ChatBC. Tell everybody you know, your family and friend, about Brunch Culture. We are so excited to do this every week, and we thank you for tuning in every week. Remember, here at Brunch Culture, everything is up for discussion.